When the long night passed and the age of heroes waned, the world beyond Westeros was changing. Across the narrow sea, far to the southeast, lay a peninsula of fire and smoke, Valyria. Here, among smoking mountains and rivers of flame, a new power rose that would one day shape the fate of all Westeros. The Valyrians were once humble shepherds. They tended their flocks in the shadow of the 14 Flames, a chain of volcanoes whose heat and fury shaped the land. But within those fires, they found power, dragons. From them, Valyria was born. The Valyrians discovered how to tame dragons, not merely as beasts of war, but as living engines of empire. With their fire-breathing mounts, they became unstoppable. No fortress could withstand them, no army could stand against them. Valyria's rise was not without opposition. To the west stood Old Gis, an ancient empire with armies of slaves, legions of soldiers, and great wealth. For centuries, the Giscari had ruled much of Essos, their symbol the harpy that still endures in Slaver's Bay. The Valyrians waged 5 wars against Old Gis. Time and again, the Giscari legions marched, but dragons burned their cities and slaughtered their men. At last, the Valyrians destroyed Gis utterly, sowing its fields with salt, sulfur, and skulls. The once great empire was reduced to a handful of slave cities, still bearing the harpy as a memory of lost glory. With Gis fallen, the Valyrians spread outward. They became masters of the continent, founding what was known as the Valyrian Freehold. Unlike Gis, it was not ruled by one king but by the Freehold's nobility, the dragonlords, great families who claimed and bred dragons, their fortunes rising and falling with their beasts. The Valyrians were builders as well as conquerors. They raised roads of stone that still endure, aqueducts, towers, and bridges. They discovered secrets of Valyrian steel, blades sharper and stronger than any other, and wove magic into their works. They built cities across Essos, their greatest being Valyria itself, a wonder of shining towers and smoking mountains, where dragonlords dwelled in palaces of marble and onyx, and where slaves by the thousand toiled in mines and fields. As Valyria grew, its power stretched westward, giving rise to the free cities. Colonies such as Myr, Lys, Tyrosh, Pentos, Norvos, and Lorath were founded, each with their own lords and merchant princes. Some remained closely tied to Valyria, others grew more independent. The mightiest of these was Volantis, called the first daughter of Valyria. Rich and powerful, Volantis dreamed of ruling the Freehold itself, but even its strength was no match for the combined dragonlords of the peninsula. Still, Valyria tolerated no rivals. To the north, the Sarnori horse lords were broken. To the east, even distant lands trembled at the thought of dragonfire. Much about Valyria remained shrouded in mystery. Their power rested not only on dragons but on sorcery. The Maesters believed Valyrian magic was bound to the 14 Flames themselves, their secrets lost when the mountains exploded in fire. They worked spells of binding and shaping, mastering fire and blood. They twisted beasts and bred monsters, some say, and carved runes whose meanings even the Citadel cannot decipher. To this day, Valyrian steel cannot be reproduced, save for reforging. For 1,000 years, Valyria reigned supreme. Their empire stretched across Essos, and none dared oppose them. But pride and power bred arrogance. The dragonlords delved too deep into the earth, too boldly into magic. Then came the doom of Valyria, a cataclysm of fire and quake that shattered the Freehold in a single day. The peninsula was torn asunder, mountains erupted, cities collapsed, dragons perished. In one stroke, the greatest empire in history was destroyed. But the tale of Valyria is not yet ended, for a single family of dragonlords escaped the doom. House Targaryen, dwelling far away on the Isle of Dragonstone. From their survival would come a conquest that would forever change Westeros.